Chapter 1. Narmadak is blessed with vision of Sri Gurunath. To transcribe into finite language in the confines of the limited vocabulary the infinite glory and effulgence of Gurudatta, the unified manifestation of Supreme Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, is an impossible task for any. Even the Vedas field and beat a retreat flattering on excuse, not thus, etc. But even so, if at least a small and a single ray of supreme effulgence of the Godhead can be captured, that is enough to redeem the world. And through the divine grace, the impossible becomes possible to some or a little extent at least. Saraswati Gangadhara, the blessed devotee of Dattavatara Sri Narasimha Saraswati, before setting out to write the sacred Guru Charithra, the life story of the Avatara, invokes the grace of Lord Ganesha. Without Lord Ganesha's grace, nothing can be achieved. He is the Mangal Murti, the embodiment of all auspicious attributes and the abode of all auspiciousness. He is most easily pleased and responds instantaneously and bestows his grace ever readily on whosoever calls out to him. He makes impossible possible his grace and help. With his grace and help, the sage Vyasa could compose the incomparable and monumental Mahabharata. The ever greatest of the epics, Saraswati Gangadhara, extols Lord Ganesha as follows: You are the remover of all obstacles. You keep your large fan-like ears always waving. The air fans produced thereby drive away all the obstacles in the path of your devotees. In your stomach rest all of the worlds, and that is why you are extolled as Lambodara. Even all the gods have to worship you alone first before undertaking any of the divine tasks. I pray you have to bless this venture of mine and help through. The next, Saraswati Gangadhara invokes the grace of Mother Saraswati, the bestower of all knowledge and the wisdom. He prays, O Mother, you are the mother of all Vedas. Without grace, man cannot pronounce even a syllable. You are a life force behind the sound faculty of men. You are the indweller in all the fourfold aspects of sound. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikari is the form of the subtlest, grossest of expression of the sound. I ask you to bless me and help me in this venture of mine. Saraswati Gangadhara next prays to the Trimurtis and to Dattatreya. He prays, O Lord, you are the primeval Guru. You are the one who incarnated in the Kali age of the Narasimha Saraswati to redeem the people from their ignorance and their ills. With full faith that you are alone are going to steer me through this colossal venture, I am setting out upon this task. It is like the child trying to catch the moon by stretching out its hand. I'm setting out upon this task. It's like the child trying to catch the moon by stretching out his hands. But even so, I have complete faith in you that you will help me through. Thus, Saraswati Gangadhara starts this divine narrative, the Guru Charithra. As a prelude, he gives a brief account of his lineage and his immediate forebearers. He belongs to Kaundinya Gotra. He is the fourth generation in the line recoiling from the Sayamdev. Sayamdev's son was Nagnath, and Nagnath's son was Deorao. All of them were staunch devotees and worshippers of Gurunath. Sayamdev and Nagnath had the blessed privilege of being the closest disciples of Gurunath and of his serving the master in his lifetime. It was because the merit earned by them that one among their family, Saraswati Gangadhara, would become an instrument of the Lord to write about the divine leelas of the great Dattavatara for the benefit of humanity and the world. It should, however, be understood that the life of any great saint or a master, much more so an avatara like that of the Sri Narasimha Saraswati, is like a huge iceberg lying submerged in the frozen waters of the ocean, and showing but a tiny crest of the pinnacle afloat on the waters. What will be discernible to the human eyes is just the tiny portion afloat above the waters, but not the mountain-sized iceberg submerged under the waters. So also in the following account of Gurunath's life, it is but a fraction of his glory that will be delineated. It is impossible for any to describe the avatar's full glory. He is mystery beyond all human comprehension. Now begins the secret Guru Charithra narrative. There was once a devotee by the name Narmadak who had a great yearning to visit the holy Ganagapur for darshan of Sri Guru Padukas, the Nirguna Padukas of Dattavatara Sri Narasimha Saraswati Deva. Entering there, he had heard most authentic and anecdotes how Gurunath continues to shower grace on all seekers even after his Mahaprasthana at that pilgrimage to Ganagapur. He is sure to soothe the mind, to satiate the yearnings of the heart, to quench the thirst of the Sheild, and to allay the hunger of the spirit for all the devotees. With great expectations and hope, Narmadak set out from his far-off village to Ganagapur. The journey was long and arduous. He was very exhausted and had lost all stamina. He was seized with despair as to whether he would survive and be able to reach the destination at all. No mother ever forsakes her child. The cow comes seeking its calf. Narmadak had wondrous dream. Gurunath Sri Nrsimha Saraswati Deva stood there before him and casting his benevolent looks upon him and placing his hand on his Narmadak's head as a token of his blessings. Narmadak's joy knew no bounds. He fell at Gurunath's feet. He sang out long hymns of praise to the Lord. He offered mental worship to him. He collected the dust from under the feet of the Lord and smeared it on his own forehead and all over his body. He was overwhelmed with joy. Chapter 1. Narmadak sees Sri Gurudatta in dream. A devotee of Sri Gurudatta by the name A devotee of Sri Guru by name Narmada, greatly worried due to domestic miseries, left home and started on foot with the intense desire of seeing Sri Guru. While on his way, he was praying to Sri Guru all the time. O Guru, all say, though art Paras, the philosopher's stone that turns iron into gold by mere touch, but then why should I be required to suffer so much? Though I have been reciting your name all the time and having full faith in you. In this Kali Yuga, you are the incarnation of three Murtis, the principal gods, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. O Sri Nrsimha Saraswati, you are the guide to and the treasure of the kindness to the devotees. As a mother does not forsake her child, in the same way, please do not keep me away from yourself. As you are my mother, father, brother, sister, friend, relative, one and all. You are the protector of this universe, donor of the gods. You have all the knowledge. You made Bali the king of the Patala. You have Vibhishana, the kingdom of Lanka. You made this earth devoid of the Kshatriya race and then gave it to charity to the Brahmins. You offered everlasting place to Dhruva, but what did you receive in return from every one of these? You have received nothing. That's when an innocent human being like myself offer you, who himself the Lord of Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth is. When a child on the lap of its mother opens its mouth to drink milk, what does the mother expect from the child? It does not become you a great giver of bones, to first receive and to give. All the bells on the earth do not adore Varun, the god of the rains, but yet Varun gives the rain in abundance to one and all. My forefathers have been your devotees for generations. I possess only this treasure of service of my family unto you. Kindly give me some loan for this treasure, as I am in very peculiar circumstances. I am seeing your shelter, considering, and you on your part overlook my misdeeds and do not be angry with me. If a mother is angry with the child seeks father's shelter. You are my mother, father too. So will you not protect me, an innocent child? Are you not even inclined to listen to my miserable tale? Being tired of walking, he sat down under a tree and soon he was asleep. In his dream, he saw a personality with hair locks on head, ash markings on all the body and face full of kindness. He recognized him to be Sri Guru, who applied ashes to his forehead and placed his blessing hand on his head. Chapter 2. Siddha Muni guides Narmadak. Narmadak was greatly amazed to see the dream. He awoke and began to proceed further on his path. While going, he was all the time thinking over the dream he had seen in the previous night. He now observed that similar personality alike that seen by him in the dream was coming from the front. He prostrated himself humility before him and said, You are my mother, my father. Kindly favor me, an orphan child. Kindly tell me your name and place of the residence. The Siddha Muni said, I am a yogi. I live on the earth and in heaven also. I have been visiting holy places and now I have come here. I am a disciple of Sri Guru Nrsimha Saraswati who resides at Ganagapur near Sangam, the meeting place of the Bhima and Amaraja rivers. He is an incarnation of the Trimurtis and always found in the meditation. He has come to this earth for the salvation of his devotees. His devotees get food, cows, and other wealth in abundance. Hearing this, Narmadak asked, Though my forefathers have been devotees of Sri Guru for generations, why should be in such adverse conditions? Will you kindly satisfy me in this respect? Sri Siddha said, You say that you worship Sri Guru and yet complain adversities. Then it seems that you are not worship Sri Guru wholeheartedly. Even if Sri Vishnu or Sri Shiva is angry with his devotee, Sri Guru can surely protect him. But if Sri Guru is enraged, even Sri Vishnu or Shiva cannot protect him. Narmadak said, Kindly tell me why Sri Guru is said to be the incarnation of Trimurtis. How is it that if Sri Guru is enriched, none else can protect? Where can I find this Sri Guru reference? Kindly explain all this to me so that my mind would become more firm in the devotion. Sri Siddha said, four Vedas came out as utterance of four-headed Brahma. From the Vedas, 18 Puranas were constructed. Brahma Vaivarta is one of these, and it is stated in it that in Dwapara Yuga, Vyasa and the Vishnu incarnate spread the light of the knowledge on the earth. Through such volumes as Brahma Sutras, Rishis and Munis listened to the tales from Vyasas, which I am narrating to you. Once upon a time, Kali Yuga asked Brahma about the greatness of Sri Guru. Narmada intervened in asking, why did Brahma narrate this to Kali? Sri Siddha proceeds saying, in the start of the evolution, Adi Narayana, Sri Vishnu was lying on a leaf of Vat. He desired and lotus came out of his umbilicus. On it was seated Brahma, who looked to the four directions, and he got four heads. He thought that he was all supreme. Realizing this Sri Vishnu smiled and said, I am here, bow to me. Brahma bowed to him and praised him. Being pleased, Sri Vishnu asked Brahma to create this universe. Sri Vishnu gave him four Vedas and also told him to create the world according to the process given in the Vedas. Brahma then created this world, which was several animate and inanimate things such as Svedaj, those born of the perspiration has bugs, etc. Andaj, those coming out of eggs has Svedaj, Andaj, those coming out of the eggs has birds. Jaraj, those begetting from the placenta, that is womb, has human beings. And Udbhaj, that is coming out of the earth, plants, creepers, trees, etc. Similarly, Brahma created the three lokas, worlds. This process of creation has been stated in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana in the following manner. Brahma called every yuga one after the other and asked him to go on the earth. First came Krita Yuga, who did not speak a lie, was learned and devoid of family attachments, and who First came Krita Yuga, who did not speak a lie, was learned and devoid of family attachments, and had secret thread and necklace of Rudraksha beads around the neck. He said, the people of the earth speak a lie and are sinful. How can I go and stay there? Brahma said, stay there for some time, and I shall be sending another Yuga to follow you. Then came Treta Yuga. Fat in the body possessed articles of the sacrifice in his hands. In the Yuga, people performed sacrifices and abode by the rulers of the religion and rituals, and most of them were Brahmins. After the Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga is approached Brahma. He had arrows and other weapons in his hands. He has both kind and wicked. Virtues and sins were both visible in him. Lastly, Kali Yuga was called for the ghost-like appearance and thoughtless heart and old age, struggling and despising mentality, and were his characters. He came before Brahma and began dancing and uttering childish words. At one moment he laughed, at another he welted and then abused anybody. Seeing him in such a strange mood, Brahma asked, why are you naked and abusing so filthy? Kali replied, I shall win over people by these two means. I am not afraid of anybody. Brahma smiled and told me to go to the earth and show the influence of his evil intentions. Kali said, I, selfish destroyer of the dharma, I like quarrel, despising, and I long for the wealth and wives of others. I am the friend to those who pretend to be a saint, and I am an enemy of all the virtuous. Brahma told him, in the Kali Yuga, the span of the life of the human beings would be only 100 years. In the former Yugas, as the lifespan was too long, people followed the path of the penance and devotion in order to attain the supreme knowledge. In Kali Yuga, a man can attain salvation, the observing penance and the devotion for the less time. You should help such virtuous person. Kali said, such virtuous men are my enemies. I am afraid of such persons. How should I then go to the earth? Brahma said, take Kal and Atma with you. They will destroy the religious mindness and even induce virtuous persons to commit sins. Kali said, they are enemies who abide by the religion and the devotees of the Vishnu and Shiva, who listen to the Puranas and give charities, and who have a peaceful hearts, but on the contrary I love those who love their wives and children, dishonor their parents, and who despise Vedas and Shastras, who see separateness in Vishnu and Shiva and despise them. Brahma said, you are clever. People will follow you and act as per your wishes as soon as you go there. If you persons are virtuous, you do not trouble them. Kali said, I am cruel. Please tell me how I should help the virtuous. Please direct me as how I should behave on the earth. Brahma said, I am sending Kal and Atma also with you, who will direct you. The virtuous only can will you, and the virtuous only can will you, and all others will soon be your slaves. Kali said, how is a sadhu saint to be known? Brahma said, please do not harass the learned and those who worship Harihara, who serve parents, gods, and Brahmins, cows, and plants as tulsi. You need not affect these. Kali said again, what is the importance of a guru? How he is to be known? Brahma said, alphabet Gu means Siddha, and Ra and Yu imply Sri Ganesha, who is Guru, Shiva, Vishnu, Brahma. Parents are all Guru of this earth. Knowledge imbibed with the devotion and rational thinking, Viveka, is seen in the heart of the Guru. Study of the Brahma and Dharma and Shastras without Guru is futile. He directs in action, thought, devotion, disintegration. One cannot surpass worldly miseries without the help and guidance of a guru. He throws a flashlight on the dark illusionary path. Service to the guru makes one pure in body, speech, and thinking. I shall just tell a tale as an example. On the bank of Godavari, there was an ashram of Angirasa Rishi. Many disciples were being trained in this ashram. One disciple named Sandipak served his guru, Veda Dharma, with great devotion. Once Veda Dharma Muni gathered his disciples together and said, if you really love me, do as I bid you. All replied, Gurudev, we shall act as per your command, for one who doesn't obey his guru goes to hell and cannot get salvation. The guru said, I have committed sins in my previous birth. The effect of many of them have been wiped out of my penance, but some of them are persisting. I will not get salvation unless I suffer the evil effects of these sins with my body. I therefore wish to go to Kashi, stay there and get rid of these sins. You have to attend on me and serve me during this period. One who is strong enough should undertake this hard task. Sandipak accepted this bid. Vedadharma said, it is better to get rid of all the sins as so long as one has sound health, otherwise they spread like a poison. So I should go to the holy place and suffer the bad effects myself. Even the gods have to suffer, then how can a human being like myself avoid the same? Sandipak said, kindly tell me what I should do. I shall spare no pain in serving you. Vedadharma said, I shall become blind, lame, and a leper. You will have to serve me for 21 years in such condition. If you are resolute, then only you should accept this job. Sandipa said, Gurudev, I will resolve that I shall also be blind, lame, and leper and serve you devotedly and see that you get rid of all the sins. Vedadharma was much pleased with his words. He further said, one should suffer the evil effects of one's sins oneself and should not allow the son or the pupil or any one else to suffer for him. The sins will not be wiped off unless they are borne by one's own body. It is very taxing to serve a diseased person, so you will have to take troubles even more than myself. Please take me to Kashi and do serve me there. Sandipak assured his guru, and soon he took him to Kashi. They lived there at Kambaleshwar, to north of Manikarnika. The Muni took a bath in Manikarnika and worshipped Vishveshwara and began to suffer the pangs of the disease. As the time passed on, the leprosy developed all over his body and he became blind, losing his sight. His body was petrified and pus, blood, and germs flowed out of it. He began to have fits also. Still, Sandipak took all the pains to nurse his guru with great devotion. He used to bring alms daily for his guru, fed him and served him, thinking him to be Kashi Vishveshwara. Vedadharma, being in a diseased condition, became peevish by nature and often was enraged and spoke harsh words to his disciple Sandipak. Some day he could not take food, some day he would abuse him cruelly for bringing insufficient for undelicious alms. Some day he would throw away the food in anger and despair. Sometime he would even beat him severely. Another time he would complain that he would not clean his body, wounds, clothes smeared with stool and urine, and consequently he was much troubled by fleas. When Sandipak was attending on him, he would say, why did he not go out for alms? In this way, Sandipak was harassed every now and then. Yet Sandipak tried his best to bring good delicious food and vegetables as directed by his guru. Though he was living in Kashi, he never went to Vishveshwar temple to worship and see the most holy shrine of Vishveshwar. Similarly, he did not think of any other thing, but he solely devoted himself to the nursing and giving best service to his guru, whom he respected as God Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. Though the guru got enraged off and on, he did not retort harshly. Seeing his such devoted service to his guru, Kashi Vishveshwara was so pleased that he appeared before him and told him to ask for some favor or blessing. Sandipak replied, "Without the approval of my guru, I cannot ask for your blessings." He then came to his guru and said, "Kashi Vishveshwara is pleased to offer me some blessings. If you permit me, I shall pray to him to remove your physical pangs and give you sound health." Hearing this, Vedadharma was enraged. He said to Sandipak, "Do not pray Vishveshwara for my health. If I do not suffer these pangs, I will have to suffer in the next birth, and this would obstruct my path of salvation." Sandipak returned to the Kashi Vishveshwara and told him, "My guru doesn't like me to accept any blessings from you." Being amazed, Kashi Vishveshwara went to Sri Vishnu and reported this wonderful incident to him. Hearing this, Sri Vishnu and Sri Kashi Vishveshwara desired to see this disciple and his guru, and so they both came to Kashi and approached Sandipak. Sri Vishnu said, "O Sandipak, I am pleased with your devotion to your guru. You may ask for whatever you desire. I shall fulfill your wishes." Sandipak said, "O Narayan, even after undertaking penance in this dense forest for infinite period, you disappoint your devotees. But when neither did I worship you nor recite your name, why should you be pleased with me and ask me to have a boon from you?" Sri Vishnu said, "Whatever devoted service you have rendered to your guru has been received by me. I love such disciples very much. I am under his influence and I am willingly offering him my blessings. I like wife's devotion to her husband, bowing to Brahmins, ascetics and sannyasis, and such persons come to my place in the end." Sandipak said, "O Mahavishnu, I have full faith that I shall attain all knowledge of Vedas and Shastras from my guru. As guru is my god, Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are within my reach. Whatever blessings you give me, I shall be getting the same easily from my guru. I am therefore serving my guru devotedly." On this, Sri Vishnu said pleasingly, "Sandipak, you are the best amongst all the disciples. You are my loving child. Sri Shiva and myself are pleased with your devotion. Ask for your boon." Sandipak said, "If you are so keen to favor me with your blessings, kindly give me such a guidance as would enable me to serve my guru with still more devotion." Sri Vishnu said, "Amen. We offer you what you desire. You have known Guru and also experienced Parabrahma in yourself. The word Guru contains only 2 alphabets. Still, it is the ocean of nectar. One who dips into it even for a moment will cross this worldly ocean. One who always remembers Gurus is respected for in all lokas." When Sandipak went to his Guru asked him, "What did Mahavishnu give you?" Sandipak replied, "I asked him to guide me to serve my Guru with more devotion, and he was pleased to give me this blessing. I wish I should serve you well and incessantly." Hearing this, Vedadharma too was extremely pleased. He said, "You are the best of all the disciples. You should stay in Kashi. Whatever you say will be true. You will receive the wealth of the Kubera, god of the wealth, and the miseries of those who remember you will come to an end." The same moment, the body of the Veda Dharma Muni became healthy and bright. He had suffered from leprosy and other pangs only for testing his disciple. In this way, Brahma told Kali this tale of the Sandipak. "O Narmada, Brahma told Kali this tale of the Sandipak. "O Narmada, you should also worship Sri Guru with such devotion, and then only you shall easily pass over the worldly miseries. Control your sense, karma, dhanyan, and also heart, and another by you will win even the great God, that is Parameshwara." Chapter 3. Durvasa's curses King Ambarish. "Narmada, Swamiji, you have removed my doubt by giving me the knowledge of the greatness of Sri Guru. I am much pleased at heart. Will you kindly inform me where you stay? What is your food? I wish to be in your service. Kindly accept me as your disciple." Sri Siddha embraced him with the affection and blessing him, said, "You will see that miraculous incidents are occurring at the dwelling place of Sri Guru. Studying the life of the Sri Guru is like draining nectar. I always read this life again and again." Saying this, he showed his sacred book titled Life of the Sri Guru to Narmada, and further said, "Whatever pleasure or social status we desire, we shall get it soon by reading this. We shall not be affected by any disease incurred due to displeasure of the planets or any reasons. The sin of killing a Brahmin is also wiped off if this book is read with the devotion and concentration of mind." Narmada, "O the ocean of kindness, you appear to me by Sri Guru himself. I wish to know the life of Sri Guru. Will you please remove the darkness of my ignorance by the light of this life of Sri Guru, which is as bright as sun?" Sri Siddha assured him and holding his hand took him to a lovely place and seated him under Ashwatha tree, which is like a kalpa vriksha, that is a tree fulfilling one's desire, and began to narrate him the nectar like life of Sri Guru. He told him, "You do not know how to serve Sri Guru, and hence you have to suffer from anxieties, pains, and miseries. You should therefore try to know Sri Guru by good actions and firm belief." Narmadak, my body is burning due to threefold fires in this earthly ocean. I am obsessed by sex, anger, and temptations, and so kindly take me in the boat of the knowledge and steer it by the wind of the kindness, and thus give salvation to me. Sri Siddha said, you need not be anxious. You will surely be relieved of all the miseries engrossed in the illusion and temptations. Those who doubt the great power of Sri Guru, they have always to suffer from the poverty and hardships. So give up suspension. Sri Guru is an ocean of kindness. He will give you everything, just as clouds give rain everywhere. Similarly, Sri Guru gives shower of kindness as water is stored in the deep portion of the earth and on the rocky place. So an individual attains Sri Guru's favor, therefore worship Sri Guru wholeheartedly. Narmadak, my mind is clear now. I am anxious to listen to the life story of Sri Guru. Kindly tell me why Sri Guru took birth in Bharat. Sri Siddha, oh my good disciple, you have given inspiration to me. Sri Guru's life is like Kamadhenu. You will get all the four valors or favors: religion, wealth, pleasure, salvation. Sri Hari and Sri Hara have to come this earth in the form of different species at different times for the benefits of their devotees. Trimurtis have three different characteristics: Brahma Raja, Vishnu Sattva, and Shiva Tama. But these Brahma Raja, Vishnu Sattva, Shiva Tama, but these do not exist separately. In the former times, there lived a king by the name Ambarish. He observed Ekadashi fast, 11th day of every fortnight, dark and bright. He induced Sri Vishnu to come on earth. In order to test Ambarish's Ekadashi Vrat, Durvasa Rishi came to him as a guest. That day, Sandhan Dwadashi was only for 24 minutes after sunrise. Ambarish received the Rishi warmly, worshipped him, and requested him to return soon for dinner, finishing his morning bath and rituals. Durvasa went to the river and took bath and started rituals. Seeing that time for Dwadashi, 12th day of fortnight, was finishing, and fearing the break of his wrath, Ambarish took holy water and dined. In the meanwhile, Durvasa returned, and seeing that Ambarish has dined before him, he was enraged, and so he cursed Ambarish. Ambarish prayed Sri Vishnu, and protector of the devotees. Sri Vishnu came from the Vaikuntha, his abode. Ambarish told Sri Vishnu that Durvasa had for no reason cursed him to take birth in different species. Sri Vishnu told Durvasa that he had cursed Ambarish in the vain, and he should curse him Vishnu instead of Ambarish. Durvasa thought that people on the earth cannot see Sri Vishnu, so it would be better to ask Sri Vishnu to descend on earth with the Sri Lakshmi for the salvation of the people. So he said to Sri Vishnu, "You should descend on the earth 10 times. Chapter 4. Birth of Sri Dattatreya. In the first instance, there was all water everywhere. Then an egg, Hiranyagarbha, with gold inside, came into existence. Universe came out of it, due to which Brahma came into existence. He is known as Hiranyagarbha. It broke into two hemispheres. The earth and the sky came into existence. Brahma thus created 14 bhuvanas, 10 directions, mind, speech, time, 6 enemies as desire, anger, etc. Brahma created 7 sons, Manasputras, namely Marichi, Atri, Angirasa, Pulasti, Pulaha, Kratru, Vasistha. Of these, Sri Guru took birth in the house of Atri Anasuya. Anasuya means devoid of hatred, was a devoted wife of Sri Atri. Atri Rishi. She was very beautiful also. Seeing her exceptional devotion to her husband, the gods in the heaven began to fear that some day she might overcome them. Hence, Indra and the other gods went to Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh and said to them, "How can one describe the greatness of the devotion of Anasuya to her husband Atri? She served her husband with body, mind and speech. She also serves guests, giving them desired food. None returns disappointed from her place. Fire, sun, wind were also afraid of her. We all are afraid of her. She may sometime win over this heaven. Therefore, kindly do something to give us relief." Hearing this, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh said angrily, "We shall test her devotion." Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh came to Atri Muni's ashram in the mendicant's disguise. When Atri had been out to the river for the daily rituals, the mendicant said to Anasuya, "We are very hungry. Give us food. We come here hearing your good name for offering the guest their desired food." Anasuya bowed to them respectfully and said, "You please return soon after finishing your bath and daily rituals." Three gods replied, "We have already taken bath and finished the rituals. Atri Rishi may take time to return. Better you serve us food soon." Anasuya seated them on the carpet and began serving food on the leaf plates. The guest said to Anasuya, "We have one more desire. We have come here from a long distance as we have heard of your beauty. We wish you to put off your garments and then serve us with food. If you do not comply with this, we shall leave this place without meals." This made Anasuya bitterly anxious. She realized that some great personages have come to test her chastity. She thought that if they returned without food, she would lose sanity of her penance. Believing that her mind is pure and that her husband's penance will protect her in this ordeal, she told them, "You have your food without any doubt. I shall serve you food as you desire." She went into her kitchen, remembering her husband, put off her garments and saying, "The guests are like my children." She came out to serve the food to the guests. Instantly, all the three gods were transformed into three newly born crying babies. She was terrified to see three crying babies, put on her clothes and took the babies one after the other to her breast for feeding. What great power does a Pativrata possess? Those who have 14 bhuvanas, 7 oceans, and fire in the belly were all satisfied with the little milk in her breast. Anasuya thus became the mother of the three great gods. She placed them in the cradle and pulled the string to and fro and began singing lullabies. It was midday. Atri Rishi returned from the river after finishing his rituals. He was very much astonished to see Anasuya pulling the string of the cradle and singing songs. Anasuya narrated all that had happened. Atri Rishi, by power of intuition, knew that the babies were Trimurtis, and so he bowed to them. The three gods were also much pleased. They stood before him and told Atri to ask for a boon. Atri said to Anasuya, "You may ask for whatever you desire." Anasuya said, "These babies should stay in this ashram as your sons." The Trimurtis readily complied. Anasuya began to nurse and feed them. Brahma was known as Chandra, Vishnu was called Datta, and the Mahesh was called as Durvas. After some time, Chandra and Durvas told their mother Anasuya that they both were going away for penance and that the third Datta would be staying with her. She should know him as Trimurti. After this, Chandra and Durvas went away. Chandra went to Chandralok and Durvas went to the forest for the penance. Datta or Dattatreya remained with Anasuya. Dattatreya is the founder of the seat of the Sri Guru. Chapter 5, Birth of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha. Sri Siddha, Narmada. Sri Vishnu had several incarnations as Matsya, fish, Kacha, tortoise, Varaha, bear, boar, Narsimha, man with lion's head, Vamana, Parasurama, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Kalki to protect the sadhus and punish the wicked. Bhagirath did his utmost to bring the Gangas on the earth for the salvation of his forehead. The Sagara kings, similar to the Brahmin woman, worshipped Sri Dattatreya, and hence Sri Datta took birth from her womb. I shall now narrate this tale to you. A Brahmin named Alpraj lived at Pitapura in the east. Sumata was his most devoted wife. On one Amavasya day, there was an anniversary day at the house of Alpraj. On that day, Sri Datta came in his disguise to his house for alms. Generally, alms are not given to the beggar on the anniversary day, but though the Brahmins invited for the ceremony had not dined, Sumati offered him alms. Hence Sri Datta was much pleased and he disclosed his divine appearance to her. She humbly bowed to Sri Datta, who said, "Mother, what do you desire?" She said, "You are a treasure of kindness and protector of the devotees. You are well known in all the 14 bhuvanas. You just called me mother. I begot children, but some of them died soon, and of those that are surviving, one is blind and one is lame. I therefore feel my life will be futile without a good son. I wish I should have a son who would be world famous and learned like yourself. Will you fulfill this desire of mine?" Sri Datta said, "You will have a son well known in Kali Yuga. You abide by his wishes. He will be learned. He will fulfill all your desires." Saying this, the Sri Datta disappeared. Sumata told this to her husband. He too was much pleased. Both believed that Sri Datta himself will come to their home in the form of a child. The husband said, "Sri Datta lives at Mahod and Kolhapur. He comes in the mendicant's form daily and at midday. You should always give him alms." Sumata told her husband that she had offered alms to Sri Datta that day, even before that Brahmin invited for performing the Sharada had died. The husband said, "You did very well. My forefathers will be more satisfied as Sri Datta himself has taken arms today. As you have obtained blessings from him, you will surely get a son. You need not worry." Thus they were passing their time with the pleasure. Sumata became pregnant. After the full period of 9 months, she gave birth to a son. Brahmins foretold that this child will be a great guru and ascetic, thinking to be an incarnation of Sri Datta. He was called after one of the Datta's name, Sripad. His thread ceremony was performed when he was 7 years old. Even at this age, he knew all four Vedas, Mimamsa, Tarak, logic, etc. All people wondered at his brilliancy and said he must be God in the human form. He taught the Brahmins of the city various subjects as Achar Vyavahar, Prayaschitha, Vedant, Bhashya, Vedarth, etc. When Sripad was 16 years of age, his parents began to think of his marriage. Sripad warned that would marry with the woman called disintegration. That marriage with the woman called disintegration. All other ladies like mothers to him. He said, "I am a brahmachari and ascetic. I love yoga and my name is Sri Vallabha. I now intend to go to the forest for observing penance and obtaining the divine knowledge." Hearing this, the parents recollected the words of Sri Datta, the mendicant, and realized that he would have his own way. Still, due to the affection, they were so very much aggrieved. The mother said, "We expected you to protect us in our old age." Saying so, the mother became unconscious. Sripad consoled her and said, "Don't be anxious. I shall give you what you wish. Believe in me and live happily." The mother said, "My dear son, I forgot all my previous miseries only on an account of you, and I cherished a great hope that you would protect us in our old age. We have 2 other sons, but one is lame and one other is blind. Who will look after them?" Sripad looked at his lame and blind brother with nectar-like insight. Instantly, the blind brother got his sight and lame one got his legs. Both became learned, well versed in Vedas, Shastras, and Vyakarna. Thai prostrated before Sripada Sri Vallabha, and he blessed them. Just as iron is transformed into gold by touch of the philosopher's stone, so both the brothers were enlightened and they became respectful due to the blessings of Sripad. He then said to the brothers, "You will have sons, grandsons, and great-grandsons, and you all shall live happily." He told his brothers further, "Serve your parents. You will be happy in this world and shall get salvation in the end." He then said to his mother, "You should be happy now, but your sons will live for 100 years. They will have sons and daughters, and you will see them living merely. They will have wealth for the generations and shall be famous for their learnings. Now do not prevent me from going to the forest. I have to go to the north and to guide the sadhus." Saying this, Sripad Swami disappeared and came to Kashi, where he began to live secretly. After some days, he went to Bhadri Narayan. He visited holy places one after the other, and in course of the time one day reached Gokarna. Chapter 6. Ravana and Gokarna Mahabaleshwar. Narmadak. Swamiji, though Trimurtis was Siddha, having yogic power to do and undo things, why did he visit different holy places, and why did he prefer Gokarna to the other places? What is its significance? Sri Siddha, I am much delighted with your question and am encouraged to narrate incidents from Sri Guru's life. Sripad Sri Vallabha reached Gokarna, and on his way he made disciples and gave them divine advice. Gokarna is a sacred place of Sri Shiva and one of the 12 famous Jyotirlinga. Sri Ganesha founded here the original Linga image of the Shiva. It is known as Mahabaleshwar, the tale of which I shall narrate to you now. Ravana's mother, Kaike, wife of Pulasti, Manasputra of Brahma, was a great devotee of the Shiva. She worshipped a new Shiva Linga every day. One day she could not get a new Shivlinga, fearing that her vrata would be futile. She prepared an earthen linga and began to worship it with devotion. Seeing this, Ravana asked her what she was doing. She said that she was worshipping a Shivlinga. Ravana said, "You are being my mother. It is a great misfortune that you should earthen Shivalinga. Well, what do you intend to achieve by this worship? Mother replied that thereby she will get a place in the Kailasa, abode of Shiva, after death. Thereupon Ravana said, "Why do you take so much troubles? I shall bring Kailasa itself to you." Saying this, he went to Kailasa and began to shake it violently with his 20 hands. He tried to lift it up. Due to this action of his, 7 patalas were shaken. Shesh moved his hood and Tortoise began to tremble with fear. Amarpur, capital of the Indra, the king of gods, and the heavens were shocked. Parvati went to Sri Shiva with the fear and said, What has happened to Kailasa today? When everyone was distressed, how are you lying at ease? Please do something to check this calamity. Sri Shiva said to her, You need not be anxious, Ravana. One of my devotees is playing a game. Parvati entreated, Kindly protect the gods who terrified. Sri Shiva pressed Ravana's 10 heads and 20 hands underneath the Kailasa. Finding himself in distress, Ravana uttered, Shiva, Shiva, and further prayed, Shri Shiva, I have made a mistake. Forgive me. I seek your shelter. Kindly do not kill me, your devotee. Sri Shiva, who is very simple and kind, was pleased by his prayer. So he took him from breath, and Ravana then cut his head and turned his head into violin. He attached his intestines to serve a musical wires. He then began to chant Samaved and sing other ragas on the tune of his musical instruments. He praised Sri Shiva in 9 ragas and 36 ragas. Being much pleased by Ravana's performance and the great personal sacrifice, Sri Shiva appeared before him and said, I am much pleased. Ask for whatever you desire. Ravana said, O God of gods, Lakshmi is my maiden servant. I possess all the 8 treasures. Brahma is my priest, and all 33 crore gods are serving me day and night. The sun and the moon and the Varuna and the wind also obey me. Agni, fire god, washes my clothes. Yama does not take away anybody without my permission. Indrajit is my son, and Kumbhakarna is my brother. Kamadhenu is at my doors, and now I have come to take away Kailasa with me, as my mother has accepted a vrat to worship you daily. Kindly fulfill my mother's desire. Kailasapati Sri Shiva said, If your mother wishes to worship me, what is the necessity of taking Kailasa to her? I shall give you Atmalinga, which will fulfill all her desires instantly. It is just like my soul. Saying this, he gave his Atmalinga to Ravana and said, After the bath, after bath, place this at a holy place reciting Rudra Sukta and worship it with 108 lap recitations of the particular mantra. One who worships this linga continuously for 3 years will gain my prowess, and one who possesses this linga will live for eternity. One is relieved of great sin simply with sight of this linga. Do not place this on the ground till you reach Lanka. Taking the Atmalinga, Ravana at once started for Lanka. Narada Muni immediately approached Indra and said to him, How are you sitting idle? Ravana has become immortal. You will lose all your provenance. Sri Shiva has given him the Atmalinga and has assured him that he would worship it for 3 years with devotion. He will be Ishvara himself. How will you then rescue 33 crores of gods who are in his custody? Better you all be his slaves and also send divine damsels like Urdvashi, Ramba, Menaka, etc. to him. Being shocked, Indra requested Narada to advise what he would do. Narada asked him to go to Brahma. Indra and Narada went to Brahma and narrated what had taken place. Then, accompanied by Indra, Narada and Brahma, went to Sri Vishnu, requested him to devise some means to overcome this calamity. Sri Vishnu was enraged to hear this tale. He, with all other, immediately went to Sri Shiva. Sri Vishnu said to Sri Shiva, What made you give Atmalinga to Ravana, the most wicked, and who has made all the gods his captives? How do you bless such cruel persons? Now he will conquer even heaven. Sri Shiva said, I was extremely pleased with his devotion. He cut his head and hands and made a violin, using his intestine as a string, and sang Samaveda and the other songs in different ragas. This time, if he had asked for Parvati, I would have given her even to him. Sri Vishnu said, You give such blessings and the demons become impudent, and then we are troubled much as they harass the gods and Brahmins, and I have to descend onto the earth. Well, tell me, when did you give the linga to Ravana? Sri Shiva said, I gave it to him only 2 hours before. Hearing this, Sri Vishnu immediately sent his Sudarshan Chakra to hide the sun and asked Narada to Ravana and induce him to linger on the way as he would like to observe evening Sandhya. Then he called Ganesha and said to him, Ravana always disregards you. All bow to you first and you fulfill their desires. While those who speak ill of you, you bring obstacles in their undertakings. Ravana deceived Sri Shiva and has taken away from him the most valuable Atmalinga. So you should go to him in the form of Brahmachari boy and winning his confidence, taking Atmalinga from him at the sunset, when he would engage himself in the evening sandhya and place the linga on the earth. If you do so, the linga will remain there. Saying this, Sri Vishnu gave Ganesha various sweets, till balls, gur, coconut kernel, milk, sugar, etc. Narada had already proceeded. Ganesha followed him hurriedly. Narada approached Ravana and said, I had just been to Kailasa and knew that you pleased Sri Shiva by your hard penance and have bought his Atmalinga from him. You have obtained extraordinary power and strength due to this. This linga has great significance. Please let me see the linga. I shall explain to you all its qualities. As Ravana did not believe Narada, he showed him the linga from a distance. Narada asked, do you know when and how this linga came into existence? This is a very interesting account. A black-skinned bright deer having all fragrant things was lying in the Brahmand Khand. Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh once went there for hunting. They killed this deer and satisfied their hunger with its flesh. The deer had 3 horns on its head, 3 lingas below. Each one of them took one linga and preserved it as his Atmalinga. One who worships this for 3 years becomes Ishvara himself. The place where this linga is placed is like a Kailasa. Therefore, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh have great prominence over all other gods. Ravana intercepted, I have no time to listen to you. As I have to reach Lanka soon, let me proceed further on my way. Narada said, this is evening time. You know the Vedas, so you should act as presided by the Vedas. This is the time for evening sandhya. Let us perform the same. Saying this, Narada went away for sandhya. In the meantime, Ravana saw Ganesha in the form of Brahmachari boy who was plucking durvas, a particular grass. Ravana thought that the boy would not deceive him, better observe sandhya, entrusting the linga to that boy. So thinking, he approached Ganesha, who was afraid to see Ravana with 10 heads coming to him. But Ganesh said, why are you inquiring? But he began to run away. Ravana asked him, who are you? Who are your parents? Ganesha said, why are you inquiring? What does my father owe you? Ravana smiled and said, don't be afraid of me. I am asking this only out of curiosity. Ganesha replied, I am the son of Sri Shiva. He has ash marks all over the body, has a necklace of Rudra beads around his neck, and bears hair locks on his head. My mother is Parvati. My father rides a bull Nandi with my mother and begs for alms daily. Ravana said, your father is a pauper. He begs for alms from door to door. So it seems that you are unhappy at home. Inside, in a beautiful city, Lanka, rich with magnificent buildings, gardens and other wealth, you will live with me. I shall give you whatever you desire. Ganesha said, there are many Rakshas in Lankas. They will devour me. A boy living in the forest. Hence, I would not come to Lanka. I am hungry and am so eating these sweets. Ravana again entreated him to hold the linga in his hand till he observed Sandhya. Thereafter, Ganesha said with hesitation, I am an ignorant boy. I won't hold this linga in my hand, as it may be heavy. Let me go to my place. Still, Ravana persuaded him and induced Ganesha to hold the linga, and he proceeded to observe Sandhya on the seashore. Ganesha warned him, mind, as soon as I feel the linga heavy, I shall place it on the earth. Saying this, Ganesha took the linga and waited there. All the gods had gathered in the sky and were witnessing this event. When Ravana was offering Argya's water oblation to the fire god, Ganesha called Ravana and said that he is fatigued and he should take this linga from him soon. Ravana made signs by hand and asked him to wait for a little more time. After a while, Ganesha again called Ravana and asked him to come immediately, as it was becoming unbearable for him to hold the linga. Ravana was meditating this time, and seeing that Ravana was not coming, Ganesha recollected Sri Vishnu's words and placed the linga on the ground in the presence of the gods in the sky. All the gods were greatly pleased to see this and showered flowers in the head of the Ganesha in admiration. Soon after, Ravana returned, and seeing that linga was placed on the ground, he was much annoyed. He began to trash Ganesha in the bath. Ravana tried his best with all his might to lift up the linga. The earth trembled, but the linga could not be shaken a bit. As Ravana tried to lift up by screwing, it took the shape of an ear of the cow, and so it is known as Gokarna. And Ravana exercised all his might to lift it up. It is called Mahabhaleshwar. In despair, Ravana then went to the forest for the hard penance. There are many other incidents signifying the greatness of this holy place. This is narrated in the Skanda Purana. Chapter 7. Saumini and Madhyanti at Gokarna. Narmada, Swami, will you tell me who were benefited by visiting this holy place of Gokarna? Sri Siddha, just listen. Formerly, there lived a brave king in the family of Ishwaku. He knew all the Shastras. He was considerate, strong, and kind. Once he went on hunting and seeing a demon like a flame of fire, he aimed an arrow and the demon fell on the ground senseless. The brother of the demon wept bitterly in the grief. Before dying, the demon asked his brother to take the revenge of his death. The brother approached the king in the human form and sought his service and was enriched as a cook. An anniversary day, the king had invited rishis like Vasishtha and others. When Vasishtha and others were seated on their seats, the new cook served him human flesh in the plate of Sri Vasishtha. Being enraged, Vasishtha cursed the king that he would become a Brahma Rakshasa. The king was also annoyed to see that he was being cursed for no fault of his. He therefore took water in his hand and intended to curse Sri Vasishtha in return. Maharani Madhyanti hastened to the king and entreated and prevented him from cursing his guru. She requested him to pray Vasishtha for Ushap, a blessing to nullify the effects of the curse. Being pacified, poured water in his hands and on his feet. Thereby, after being a Brahma Rakshas, he was called Kalmashpad. Madhyanti bowed to Vasishtha and prayed for Ushap for the king. Vasishtha was also cooled by this time. He assured her that the king would attain human form and return from the forest on completion of the 12 years. Kalmashpad lived in the dense forest. Once he saw a young Brahmin couple passing by. He clasped the Brahmin youth with the intention of devouring him. The young wife of the youth wept bitterly and requested Kalmashpad with folded hands, saying, "Kindly release my young husband who is well versed in Vedas and thus give me my Saubhagya. By doing this, you will add to your virtues. Treat me as your daughter. If I beget a son, I shall give him your name." But the demon did not listen to her and killed the youth and ate his flesh. The wife of the youth collected the bones of her husband and arranged a pyre and set a fire to it. Before burning herself in the same pyre, she cursed the demon. "You will die instantly. When after 12 years you become king and touch your wife." The king returned to his city after 12 years. He told his wife Rani Madhyanti all about the curse of the Brahmin's wife. Madhyanti was much grieved to hear it. She exclaimed, "Even after staying in the forest in the hardships for 12 years, you are not relieved of the evil effects of your evil actions. There is no son in our family. What should we do now?" The king called the old priest and told him, "I have killed the Brahmin when I was a demon and I was staying in the forest, and how can I be relieved of its evil effect?" The priest said, "You should visit all the holy places and then all your sin will be wiped off." The king then started to visit all the holy places one after the other. He performed sacrifices, gave money in the charity, served meals to the Brahmins and the poor, and did other virtuous acts. Still, the sin of the Brahmatya followed him like a shadow. Accidentally, he met Gautam Muni. He bowed to the Muni respectfully. Gautam said, "When you have your own state kingdom, why are you wandering from place to place, and why are you so much worried? I have committed a Brahmahatya. I have performed sacrifices and several pratas. I visited holy places, did virtuous acts, yet I am not relieved of this sin. I am fortunate to see your holy self today," replied the king. Gautama said, "You need not worry. Sri Shiva will protect you. You should go to Gokarna to get rid of this sin. Mrityunjaya, the conqueror of death, Sri Shiva always stay there. Though the fire and the moon can do away with the darkness of the night, yet there is a necessity of the sun. Similarly, though your sins are not wiped off even after going to several holy places, still if you go to Gokarna, all your sins will be destroyed. Even if you have committed 1,000 Brahmahatyas, all will be destroyed and you shall become sinless." Even Vishnu and Brahmadev lived there for penance and their desires were fulfilled. Gokarna is like a Kailasa and Sri Shiva stays there. At the instance of the Sri Vishnu, Sri Ganesha installed this Shivlinga. All the gods, demons, rishis, munis, siddhas live and worship Sri Shiva, and thereby they attain all the 4 valors, Purusharthas, with the blessings of the Sri Shiva. Brahma, Vishnu, Kartavirya, Vinayaka, Durga, and others have also installed lingas here known after their names. All waters here are holy. This is thus the most important holy place. In Krita Yuga, this linga was white. In Treta Yuga, it became red. In Dwapar Yuga, it is yellow. And in Kali Yuga, it has become black. The root of this linga is in the The root of this linga is in the Sapta Patala below. Even with the sight of this linga, one is relieved of the sins of the Brahmahatya, gets one's desire fulfilled, and after the death, one maintains salvation. The devotees staying here go to Kailasa in the end. One should bathe and offer charities on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. It is just to worship here on Vyatipat, Makar Sankranti, and Mahashivratri days. Bholenath Shiva passes judgment over all our actions in the month of Magha. If one observes fast on the Shivratri day and offers bail leaf to the Sri Shiva Linga, one's entrance in the heaven is ensured. Gautama Muni further said, so many have been benefited by visiting Gokarna. I myself have witnessed a most wonderful incident. When I had been to that place, when I was sitting under a tree, I saw a leper Shudra woman. She was without food the whole day. All her body was affected and pus and germs were seen all over. She had lost her teeth and had no clothes on her body. Being a widow, her head was shaved and she was much troubled due to the midday hot sun. She sat under a tree, being tired, and soon died. Shiva Dutas came there with a divine place to take her to the Kailasa. While living with the Shudra, she ate flesh Shudra. She ate flesh and took wine daily. One day she killed a calf thinking it to be a lamb and reserved its head for the next day. When it was time for milking the cow, she looked for the calf and she came to know that my mistake, she had killed it. In the grief, she uttered the words Shiva Shiva, and what a great sin I have committed unknowingly. Fearing the wrath of her husband, she buried the head, flesh, and bones of the calf and told people that her calf was taken away by a tiger. When she died, Yamadutas took her to the Yamapuri and placed her in the hell. She suffered tortures and was again born as a Shudra woman. She was ugly, black, and blind. Her parents cared for her for some time, and afterwards she begged for her food. She was an orphan without any shelter. She developed leprosy, and in course of the time she grew old. Many people were going to Gokarna on Mahashivratri day expecting to get good alms. She also followed them. It being a fast day, nobody offered her food. In joke, someone placed bay leaf in her hand, knowing that it was not eatable. She threw it away, which by chance fell on the Shivlinga, and thus she had the credit of worshipping Shiva in that dark night. This pleased Sri Shiva, and hence we have come to take her to Shivalok. Shivaduta sprinkled nectar on her body, and soon she looked like a heavenly woman. She was then taken to Shivalok. Hearing this, the king was delighted. He went to Gokarna and was relieved of all his sins. Gokarna has great significance. Hans Sripada Sri Vallabha also had been there and stayed there for 3 years. Chapter 8.